Hello everyone, Kingsley here. I'm in Cape Coast Castle in Accra, what used to be called the Gold Coast, and I'm right on the coast here, which stretches 500 kilometers in the south of Ghana. And I'm here at Cape Coast Castle, where I've been many times, and it's 400 years since the beginning, really, of the slave trade here in Ghana. And every time I've come, they give me different figures. Sometimes they say 6 million, that's the lowest. Sometimes 12 million, I've had 20 million. Today, the guy said that 60 million slaves passed through this place. I don't know if that's correct. I don't think anybody will know the exact number. But it's horrendous what happened here from all of West Africa. Behind me is the remains of the church that would have been here, that was built on top of the male dungeon. So can you imagine? Maybe not the screams, because they lost the will to live, those men who were under there, 1,000 of them at a time, but still there would have been noise through the pain that they had. And upstairs in the church, those folk would have been singing their hymns, hearing readings from the Bible, as 1,000 men underneath them, many of them dying as they were singing. Horrendous thought. Here we have the male slave dungeon. And at any one time, 1,000 men were in the 5 chambers down here. It's very slippy. And they excavated it in recent years and took up, well, many inches of human feces and vomit and urine that washed through this place. So down here in total darkness, you can see a little bit. There were vents. And they brought food in, which they fought over. Absolutely horrendous. From that prison, and the women's prison, which is down ahead of us here, they marched something like 70 meters in a tunnel that goes underneath here and heads down towards the door of no return. On the left down here, and on the right, we have the female prisons. This is the door of no return. When they saw this, they didn't know anything about it, of course, didn't know where they were going. Some had never seen the sea, so they went through here to the ships. And it was called the door of no return because none of them, when they walked through this door, they had no more possessions, they had no family, they had no life. Everything ended when they walked through this door. That's why it's called the door of no return. So here you can see behind me, they've changed the name of it a few years ago when they exhumed some bones from slaves that they dug up in Jamaica and brought them back here, and they changed the name behind me to the Door of Return, saying there is hope, and they've buried that part of the Ghanaian diaspora back here in Ghana. So I've just walked back through the Door of Return. They put a kwaba, which means welcome, on the wall here when they turned it from the Door of No Return to the Door of Return. So we're walking back up into the courtyard. Everything changed, of course, when slavery was abolished. The early part of the 19th century, the early 1800s, William Wilberforce worked hard in Parliament, year after year, bringing a bill that would abolish slavery. And it was just a few days before he died that he found out that slavery had been abolished throughout the whole British Empire, British colonies. If these walls could talk, the guy today said that there were 310 million slaves potentially, but 60 million of them survived to walk through the door of no return. I always like to take people here, bring people here, because it's a reminder of the inhumanity that man can have towards man. But it's also a reminder that when they made redemption for this and they created the door of return, that God always makes a way for us to return back to Him. Today, if you are away from God, you can come back. I thank God there's always a way of return to Him because we live in days of grace. 2019, 400 years later, is the year of return, when Ghana's welcoming back the diaspora, those who have left, the descendants of those who left, who were slaves many years ago. Many of them have been invited to come back to Ghana, to invest back in this beautiful land and make it a return year. 2019, 400 years later. This is Kingsley reporting live from Ghana. I hope you'll have a great day. God bless you.